Everybody lives inside a performance management system. Everybody that at work does. So we need to understand, if we're going to make a better one, and everyone's trying to make a better one, we've got to understand that actually a performance management system is made up of two very different systems. You've got to understand each one so that you can solve for each one. The first thing is a performance acceleration system. Basically, how do I get more performance out of you? I'm a team leader, you're a team member, how do I get more performance out of you? We have to solve that problem. By the way, it's a pretty straightforward problem. You work for me, I've got to figure out who are you, I've got to figure out what work you're doing, and then I've got to sort out how every single week I can coach you to be a little bit better. That's tricky because you're busy and I'm busy. You might work on another continent, you might have just joined my team, but that's the problem we've got to solve. How do I get to know you well enough, get to know your work well enough that I can coach you and tweak you, course correct you for next week, next week, next week. If that's a presenting problem, by the way, you don't build a feedback system because nobody is going, ooh, how can I get more feedback? No one's answering it. That's not a question that anyone is asking. And if that problem is like, how do I get more performance out of you next week? Building a goal alignment system, no one can. You're not asking me to align to your goals. No one is. Goals don't help us solve the problem of how do you do more better work next week. That is a coaching problem between you and me. So the whole performance acceleration problem can be framed around team leader talking to team member about near-term future work. It's a frequent coaching question that we've got to solve for. That's performance acceleration. Goals don't solve for it. Feedback doesn't solve for it. It's about conversation about near-term work. The second system is a performance measurement system. So we've got performance acceleration and performance measurement. The performance measurement problem is, how do we reliably measure the differential levels of performance of every single team member in the organization? How do we do that reliably? I'll tell you what doesn't do it reliably. Ratings don't do it reliably because human beings are unreliable raters of other human beings. When I rate you, most of the variation in the rating is a function of me, not of you. So ratings are bad data. Ratings don't do it. Goals don't do it. Counting how many goals you've achieved is not a reliable way to reveal the range of performance of each person. So ratings don't do it, goals don't do it. How do we do it? That's an interesting question, and the question that we have to solve for. I am a bad rater, an unreliable rater of you, so how, across thousands of teams, hundreds or tens of thousands of people, do we reveal the reliable range of performance of everybody? How do we do that? That is a measurement problem. So that's what you've got with performance management. You've got two problems, an acceleration problem and a measurement problem. You've got to solve them separately. When you don't solve them separately, or you don't understand they're two separate problems, you kludge them together and wind up doing both of them really badly. Competencies is an example of that. They started off as a performance acceleration tool, they bled over into performance measurement tool, they do both badly. Ratings started off as a measurement tool, bled over into a performance acceleration tool, they do both badly. Feedback started off as a performance acceleration tool, bled over into an actual measurement tool, it does both badly. Goals started off as a performance acceleration tool, bled over into a performance measurement tool, so people are measured on their goals, they do both badly. All of these different tool sets try to solve both problems, unwittingly end up doing both badly. We need to separate them out and solve the acceleration one separately and solve the measurement one separately. And then at least we'll have solved them well. We haven't right